Episode number 3 of Y Tu Que. So welcome. I know I'm like a little bit late today, but it's earlier than last week. Last week I actually uploaded a pre-recorded podcast with my special guest David Mendez. If you guys didn't check it out, man, go back to my Facebook, look for episode number 2, which was called Topo Chico Please. It was a sobriety episode, which you guys have to check out. It was super funny. It was super cool. And I also have it on my YouTube channel, which I'll post the link to here shortly and stuff like that, so that you guys can go and subscribe, because I still need some subscribers so I can get my own personalized YouTube channel link. So I'll shoot that to you guys in a little bit. So thanks everybody that is plugging in right now. My name is Priscilla Cortez. If this is the first time watching my new podcast, because I know that you guys have seen me do live shows before, but before I had a different name. It was called Fuel Spot Fitness and Nutrition. I did that for 2 seasons, and then I decided to revamp and kind of change what I was like talking about, so I can relate to a lot more people on different, levels. All right. So thanks to Nora, Denise, Hugo, Noeli, Mariela, Cameron, Nancy, everybody that's plugged in right now, and everybody that was plugged in a while ago that didn't get to hear me because I was like, what's going on? Like I said, it's technical difficulties, but everything is no problem. All right. So like I said, today is episode number 3. And man, I got to tell y'all, so I actually, wore my Mexican jersey because I haven't really spoken too much about how it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and it goes up until October 15th. So, Y Tu Que is like a Spanglish show. I try to translate in Spanish, but sometimes I forget that it's supposed to be Spanish too. So shoot me a reminder if you don't understand what I'm saying. So that's why I wore this shirt, because, we have Hispanic Heritage Month up until the 15th. But today's show is called Échale Ganas, all right? And that means, if I translate it in English, it means like do your best. And stuff like that. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm actually talking about this. Now, in no way am I the advocate for the Hispanics, all right? Like, I just decided to talk about this topic because, well, it's October 1st. It's also the 3rd quarter of the year. Fourth quarter of the year. We have 3 months left in the month. And, at this point, people that have either given up on their goals or are already thinking about 2020, right? So what I want to do is, I want to use this platform, this social media platform, to kind of inspire you guys and let you know to keep giving it your all. Échale ganas, okay? So, let me back it up, okay? So, lo que estaba diciendo es que este programa de hoy es el número 3. Se llama Échale Ganas, échenle ganas, porque siento que ya estamos a principios de octubre, faltan 3 meses para acabar el año. Entonces, en este tiempo del año, mucha gente o ya se rindió con sus metas del año, o ya están empezando a pensar en las metas del año 2020. 2019? Yeah, 2020. So that's in Spanish, right? 2020. All right. And so, por eso quiero usar esta plataforma de Facebook o de YouTube para motivarlos en hacer unos cambios, okay? And, like I said, by any means, I'm not the advocate of the Hispanics or anything, but I do feel like I have a really good platform, for people to watch and learn some stuff. If I can feed you some positive stuff, if I can give you any kind of knowledge, then I did my job if I even help one person, right? So I want you to think about where you are with your goals. ¿En dónde están sus metas? Como dije hace rato, ya estamos a principio de octubre. Entonces, si tuvieron metas al principio de este año, ¿ya las cumplieron? ¿Ya mero las cumplen? Are you almost there? If you had goals for 2019, are you already done? Did you accomplish them? Did you knock them out and are ready for the 2020 goals? And if you haven't, it's cool. Like, this is why I'm doing today's show, because I want you to finish strong. All right. So this is what I'm here for today. I think that a lot of times when people haven't accomplished their goals, is because the excuses are easier than hard work. All right. And so we have to remember why we are doing what we are doing. Why? Okay. So remember, in order to accomplish your goals, you have to remember why you're doing it and what you're doing. What are you doing it for? Okay. So here we go. All right. I want to talk to you guys about a little story. I'm going to talk to you guys first about why it's called Échale Ganas, breaking the Latino cycles and stereotypes. All right, so the first cycle that I'm going to talk about is going to be like my own personal story, growing up as a kid. My parents are Mexican. I was born here in the United States, but Spanish was my primary language. And then I guess, I don't know what happened, you know what I mean? Like I stopped, I guess, speaking so much Spanish, and now it's choppy and stuff like that. Y por eso no me entienden. Pero mis papás son de México. Yo nací aquí in Houston, Texas. I was raised in Second Ward, and then I moved out to Southwest in 80. That's where I graduated from. Growing up, I remember that, my parents were always hard workers. All right. So my dad was always working. My dad has worked ever since I could remember, long hours. Right. And my mom was always a stay-at-home mom. And she took care of us, took us to school and all that stuff. And I have memories as a child growing up, but a lot of them are of like my dad always being at work, you know what I mean? The memories that I do have of us when we are together, like they were like the best times ever, right? Because there were very few, I guess, except for the summers. He did really good at taking us out in the summers. And my mom too, you know what I mean? She took care of us at school and things like that. I want to, I think I talked to a lot of people about this, about how, I've seen my parents work so hard over the years. And I think that growing up, I kind of noticed that. And I'm like, man, is that what's going to happen to me when I grow up? When I get older, like, am I going to go and work and be like what my dad did? You know what I mean? Working long hours, working for somebody else. I feel like there's a lot of that mentality in our culture. All right. So this is kind of like a cycle. And some of you guys, if your parents, moved to the States or are still, wherever you're originally from, then if you can relate to me, like type a 1 in the comments. All right. Because I want to know that you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And you see them working really, really hard, as you're growing up, and you start to think, is that what I have to look forward to when I get older, where you just work, pay bills, and like barely make it through. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. And that's why I want to use this platform to kind of tell people that we have to break this cycle. All right. But it's also like a mentality thing that we have to break. All right. So I don't want anybody to feel like because your parents worked hard and worked jobs that probably were not the best, that you have to go and do that as well. This is why we're going to be breaking the cycle. All right. And what happened to my notes? Let me see. I had a whole bunch of notes and now I have no idea where they went. But anyways, all right. So, no, here they go. All right, cool. So I talked about how my parents always worked and how growing up, I was like, man, you know what? That's not going to be for me. I think that I was lucky enough and blessed enough that my parents did work hard and they always had my back whenever anything happened. And I needed to either go back home, or if I needed some money, things like that. So yes, so that was my story with my parents. And so now I want to talk about how, what success means to you in the Latin culture, in your culture. All right. So like I said, we can be successful, right? We can be successful because even though our parents did work hard, and it gave us like an image of what we didn't want to become as we got older, it did show us that they worked hard to give us the best that they could, right? So man, they grinded it out. They worked those long hours. They worked those shitty jobs. You know what I mean? They dealt with, not the best bosses. Probably they probably had to work holidays and things like that, and they had to give up working with their, I mean, not working, but spending time with their family. And that's a lot of the things that I do remember. You know what I mean? Like I remember, my, like I said, my dad working all the time, and there was plenty of holidays where he had to work. You know what I mean? But I could never hold that back against him because, like I said, he was doing the best that he could, to provide for his family. All right. So, what's your definition of success? All right. If your definition of success is money, okay, cool. If your definition of success is spending time with family, then that's great also. Okay. So my definition of success is definitely, money, right? I mean, who doesn't need money? Everybody needs money in this world, right? But I don't think that money determines your happiness. All right. So for me, success means spending time with your family. All right. I don't know if you saw that I had posted something earlier today, and it explained about how you have like 84,600 seconds or something in a day. I don't know what it was. I can't remember what the exact number was. And so, that's how many seconds we have in a day, and you kind of determine how you use those or not. Remember, time is something that we never get back. So where do you want to, focus that time at? Do you want to focus it, like working really, really hard, to make money, but while spending time away from your family? Or would you rather work smart while spending time with your family? And I think that, I bring this up because this generation, I don't want to say this generation. I think that our parents' generation probably didn't have that example, shown to them. And that's why, they followed in the footsteps of their parents. So I'm sure like my grandparents also worked super, super hard. They spend very little time with their kids, you know what I mean? And I'm not just speaking like for my family, but I know like plenty of my friends, plenty of my cousins, we can talk about stories. We can share about stories about, things that we lacked growing up. And so, like I said, for me, seeing those things, I'm 38 years old. I don't have any kids right now, but when I do, I at least know that I don't have to be away from them like a lot of, our parents did, and how a lot of us, and I say us, I want to talk about my generation, are currently doing. Some of us have actually not broken the cycle and they are working, super hard and super late to provide the best that they can for their kids, but you're not spending any quality time with them. All right. So, you have to work smart. And I think that that's something that a lot of people do not want to talk about. They don't want to teach you in school. And this is something that you have to learn on your own while, surrounding yourself with a positive group of people. Okay. So that's, success. Also, with that, as crazy as this country is, all right, and I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that because I don't like it and I get mad easy. Okay, so as crazy as this country is, it's still a country that offers many opportunities, but it requires you to take them and make our lives something big out of them. You see what I'm saying? This country is a great country. Despite of all the craziness that's going on, we have plenty of opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities available for us. We just either are not opening our eyes or refuse to break the cycle and do something different than what we're accustomed to seeing. If you're used to seeing your parents working hard, long hours, you never spend time with the family, then that's most likely, those are things that are being instilled in you, and you have to kind of work really, really hard to break them on your own. All right. So thanks, Cisco, for plugging in. Lorena, Santa, Jay, Ali guys. What's up, David? Thanks for plugging in. So yes, this is the hard part about doing a live show, that, you start getting comments and things like that. And then I get totally distracted, which I don't even need any help on. I get distracted really easily. So anyways, opportunities. All right. That's what I want to talk to you guys. So, a lot of us fail to take some opportunities, and I want to talk about how, opportunities are not for those people that are lucky. All right. I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, you're lucky. You get to, be at your studio whenever you want. Oh, you're lucky. You get to, make your own schedule. Oh, you're like, this didn't happen by luck. I didn't win make my own schedule lottery. It doesn't happen that way. You have to take a decision and go for it. Okay, let me take a sip of my Topo Chico. Here we go. It's the mini ones, thanks to Rocio. So when you're looking at people that have their own schedule, that are out there at the beach while you're out working, if you see that there's, so-and-so's mom taking, little Billy to school while you're out working, and you can't, it's not because they're lucky. It's because they made a decision, to be that present parent, or to be able to have the time freedom to, do whatever it is that they want. Like I said, there's a lot of people around my age that don't have any kids, so I don't want to specifically talk to parents about this. But, I didn't get lucky. I didn't get lucky. I had to take a lot of losses, in order for me to get in this position. All right. So if you guys don't know, I am a wellness coach. I have a fitness and nutrition studio out here on the northwest side of Houston. All right. And I do manage my own schedule. And things like that. I mean, obviously I'm having a podcast at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So I hope you guys are, not getting in trouble and watching this while you're at work, but definitely catch up on it. You know what I mean? So what happened was, I was working the corporate lifestyle. All right. Working exactly how I was taught, I guess, to work from school, from the school system, and from seeing my dad. You know what I mean? My dad worked a lot. And I already knew that, I would, graduate high school, go to college, maybe a technical school, whatever, and then go to work. All right. That's what I was taught. Go to work, make money, pay bills, and that's it. You're going to live paycheck to paycheck, because that's what I was used to seeing. All right. But I was working the corporate lifestyle, working 9 to 5, always being tired, driving in the traffic and things like that. And I wanted to always be the best employee for somebody else, because that's what I was taught. That's what I grew up seeing. I always wanted to be number one. So I always feel like I give, 100% of me to just about everything that I do, if I want to be the best. Right. So I give 100% to everything that I do. And then, after a couple of years, I got let go. I got cut from work. Right. I got cut from work after like 7 years. You know what I mean? After building friendships with these people, and I took it personal, but it wasn't personal, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to block everybody. All these people from my job, I'm blocking all of y'all from Facebook. I hate y'all. I can't believe this happened. Like I worked 7 years. I gave 7 years of my life for you guys and da-da-da-da-da. And so at the time I was very spiteful. I was very mad. And, looking at it now, it's like, dang, I should probably send them like a basket of like edible arrangements or something and be like, thank you, thank you for doing that, because that was like the best thing that could have happened to me in my life. All right. It taught me a very valuable lesson at that point. You know what I mean? And I was also able to kind of reevaluate whether I wanted to go back to work, find another job, right? And go back to work for somebody and, risk the potential of this situation happening again. All right. Now, at this point, I had already been introduced into the fitness and nutrition industry. All right. And I was like, trying to watch my health, my nutrition and things like that. And I slowly, without even knowing, kind of started like a side hustle, right? I want to call it a side hustle. I hate saying hustle because I feel like you're taking advantage of people. But that's not the case. So through my results from, learning about, eating correctly and working out, I was able to lose 34 pounds. All right. So while I lost 34 pounds, people were asking me like, what are you doing? Give me some tips. I want to work out. I want to eat better. Tell me what to do. I started generating an extra income. All right. I started generating an extra income without even trying. It was just kind of like something that was happening at that moment. And then, like I said, I got let go from work. So I had some money coming in. All right. Which kind of helped me stay afloat. At that point, I think that's when I was trying to make a decision whether I was going to go back to work for somebody or not. You know what I mean? Or, whatever it was I was going to do, I needed to make a decision immediately. Either this side hustle that I'm doing, can I make it like a full-time thing? And if I can, okay, then how do I do it? And if I can't, then I need to go and find me a job, right? And so, I decided that I was going to take this all the way. This is what I do now for a living. I'm a health and fitness coach. I help people, lose weight, gain weight, get healthy, and things like that. And I do it around my own schedule. All right. So like I said, I have a fitness and nutrition club here in Houston. So I was able to, maximize my oh man, I don't want to say tragedy. It wasn't tragic. I mean, I guess when I lost my job, it was tragic. You know what I mean? I remember, calling one of my sponsors and telling her, hey, I just got let go from work. And she's like, congratulations, come to the club, come see me. And I was like, you're crazy. I just said I got fired and you said congratulations. I don't even know what's going to happen with my life right now. But I took it all the way. And it's been, 2 years or something like that since then. All right, 2 or 3 years. And so, like I said, it was an opportunity that was in front of my face or in my surroundings, right? That I wasn't really looking at. Like, had I looked at this opportunity that was already in my hands before getting let go, I probably would have been able to make it my plan A instead of my plan B. But my plan A was always working for somebody else, and my plan B was making this side money without really caring about it, right? And so anyway, so that's kind of what happened. And I'll get into this. I'm going to come back to this here in a little bit. All right. Now, breaking the cycle. All right. I feel like, and I don't want to be, oh man, I did say, this is breaking the cycle of, like cycles and stereotypes. And I feel like growing up, I don't know if it's because of the area that I grew up in. I grew up in Second Ward. It's not the most prestigious of neighborhoods to grow up in. I would say that the majority of the people that lived there at that time were in poverty levels. Now it's, they like reconstructed and there's like Starbucks and like, high rises and stuff like that in that area. So I don't want to say that it's the same now, but I know that, back then it was a lot of people who were not making a lot of money. I don't want to say they were poor because, they had a roof over their heads. They were working hard. They were, taking their kids to school. They were, providing and stuff like that. So I don't want to say they were poor, but they were not making the best of money. And so, I feel like that one of the stereotypes growing up, all right, and I think that this has kind of impacted, it's funny now that I think about it, I think that this has impacted a lot on my decision to break away from working the way that my dad has worked, because he's still working. I think he's about to retire. His birthday just passed. I don't know. He's not that old though. He's not that old. But like he's still working. And so, seeing that a lot of my friends were kind of, and again, I don't want to say poor, but they didn't have a lot of stuff. I didn't want to be that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that. Like, I already knew, like, okay, we don't have a lot of stuff. I can't have, those expensive shoes growing up. But when I get older, I am. Okay? And so I think that a lot of times, like, it was like a stereotype from me. And I'm not sure if anybody else that's watching can relate to this when you're thinking, man, all these Hispanic people that I'm around are broke, or they can't afford the fancy sneakers or the nice clothes or whatever. So, we shopped at the thrift stores and things like that. And so my perception of Hispanics growing up was that everybody was just the same, that they were, in like a poverty level, or maybe, like I said, like, I hate to say that, but, they didn't have as much money as other kids. Others, okay? And so, I was doing some research, because I try to do a little bit of research so I can give you all a little bit of facts, in every episode that I do, and I was reading about a poll that was done a few years ago, where it said that 51% of non-Latinos believe that welfare recipients, all right, describe Latinos very well. All right, so what does that mean? It means that when people think about Latinos, the Hispanic community, that they think, oh, they're welfare recipients, they're receiving assistance from the government. The majority of them, all right? So if you're walking down the street, you see a Hispanic person, you're like, oh yeah, that person's getting government assistance. And so that was kind of like my perception, even though, well, I don't know. I would have to ask my mom because I don't remember if we had any government assistance or whatever. But I know that they have like the SNAP program, right? So it's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, all right? But through this poll that was done, they said that the majority of people getting these benefits were actually white people, all right? So I hate to say that. Let's not get controversial about it, all right? Okay, so it wasn't so much that the Latinos were receiving, or taking advantage of these benefits. There are available if you need them, take advantage of them, if you need them. If not, then leave them to the people that are actually struggling and actually need this assistance. Because if you have, 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 legs, then you are good enough to go get a job and work your ass off. And if you don't want to work for somebody, then take an opportunity and build something from it. There's plenty of opportunities out there for everybody. And I'm not just talking about Latinos, or Hispanics or whatever you want to call it. So the opportunities are out there. You're just not opening your eyes about it. All right. So that's a stereotype. I just wanted to bring that up because I did want to talk about stereotypes. And, growing up, like I said, it had a lot to do with the area that I grew up in and watching all the other little kids and all my other friends who were kind of in the same situation as we were. Like I said, we were not poor. I would not ever say that, we were poor because my dad and my mom and my grandparents, they provided the best that they could. We had a house, we had clothes, we went to school, we did all that. All right. But I know other kids had it better, and I could see that. And so that's why, I think growing up, I was like very against what the normality is for the Latino culture, where you go to school, get married early, have kids early, drop out of high school, and that type of stuff. Like, that was totally not me. Like, I had a very great example, and I could have, I chose one out of 2 ways. I could have either falling into the stereotype, of that when you, get pregnant early, drop out of school, blah, blah, blah. Or I could have played it the complete opposite, which I did do. All right. So 38, no kids. I don't know. I know my parents want some grandkids, but espérate. Okay. So that's like the poverty stereotype that I have with the Latino culture and how we got to break it. All right. And so how do we break it? The Latino, how do I put this? The Latino money culture is centered around a poverty mindset. And this goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we are taught, or maybe, it's not like our parents teach us, oh, you're going to be poor, or, oh, you're going to be capped at X amount, or, oh, you have to go work and clean houses, cut yards, the stereotypical job of a Hispanic person, right? So I don't think that our parents mean to do us any harm, even though that type of stuff stays engraved in our brain without them knowing, you know what I mean? But in the Latino community, we are centered around the poverty mindset. And this is a belief that we cannot aspire or dream about wealth. All right. I remember, this is so funny. I remember being in, I don't know, 1st grade or something like that. And I don't know if they still do this in school, but they have like career day. Right. And I remember my teacher having like a box full of costumes, painters, clowns, witches, I don't know, painters, all kinds of stuff. Right. And so you would see like, okay, they would be like, okay, well, when you grow up, what do you want to be? Go and pick out your outfit. So we'd have like firefighters and police and, we had a couple of witches. I don't know. I wanted to be an artist. So I got me like a little artist thing. And there was one girl who just got like I think it was like an apron or something like that. And I remember saying like, what are you? And she said, I'm a mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But I feel like, it's, there's people that grow up and aspire to be moms, stay-at-home moms. But I also wonder if that's something that, was kind of instilled in her because that was her perception of what her life was going to be based on what she was seeing from her mom. You know what I mean? Had her mom maybe, I don't know, been an attorney, maybe the little girl would have wanted to be an attorney. You know what I mean? And so this is why, we have to be okay with speaking to our children. And if you don't have children, you have to speak to people that are around you, your peers, your friends, people that you don't know, and speak, great conversations, positive conversations, because you may be the person that they needed in their life in order to inspire them, to motivate them, in order to, continue or have the belief that they can and deserve better, right? So our lives in the Hispanic community, and like I said, I'm not the advocate for Hispanics or Latinos or anything by any means. I'm speaking to you from my experience, in the Latino community. You know what I mean? I think that our lives revolve around debt, acquiring and paying it off, but failing to advance to the next level. All right. And this is so true. Like, I'm like reading stuff, I'm writing stuff down, I'm jotting down memories for me. And as far as I know, as far as I can remember, and to this day, like my family, my aunts, my tios, my cousins, like, man, they're all living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? And they're in debt. They're paying off their debt. They're going to work. They're paying their bills. They're going to work. They're paying their bills. They're paying off their debt. They're going to work. They're paying their bills. They're paying their debt. They're paying their bills. They're going to work. You know what I mean? And there's got to be something more to everybody's life than just that. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with, aspiring or dreaming of wealth, of having better, of being better. You know what I mean? But that influence may not always be around. So if you have children, man, please be that influence for them, and speak to them that they can. Okay. I read an article, and it was like a Hispanic magazine. I can't remember what it was, but it was years ago. And I remember that it said something like, stop lying to your kids. It was something like your kids are failures because you lied to them, which was freaking ridiculous, right? I mean, I get their point. So basically what they were saying was that you're turning your kids into losers because you're feeding them fake dreams. When people tell you, oh, you're going to grow up to be the next president of the United States, you know what I mean? For some people, it's like, I guess, not possible. I'm not really sure how. I think that it's possible for anybody if you really want it. We have those exceptional people that go above and beyond and over anybody and anything and get those things done. All right. So the thing is that, people don't achieve being the president of the United States. Well, again, we're not going to get into politics or anything like that. But yes, there's a lot of politics that play into it. But also, how bad do you want it? I mean, I'm not going to get into politics. Forget it. Let me just change the subject. But anyways, be the influence for your kids. All right. If you are currently working hard, if you are currently working long hours, if you are currently missing their school events, missing holidays and things like that, because you are working to provide the very best for your kids, it's okay. But let them know that they don't have to follow in your footsteps. They can very well be doing something different, something better, but they have to work. Right? They have to work for it. You have to show them that it is possible. You know what I mean? Don't fall into this vicious cycle, which I see a lot of people fall into. That includes a lot of my friends that I've known for a very long time. That includes a lot of my family, my cousins, my tios, my tias. They're falling into this vicious cycle of constantly just having to work and live paycheck to paycheck. Okay? So let me move on because it's almost closing time, but I want to close with what's the next step. All right, so let me see who's writing what. Ooh, man, I got a lot of people watching. What's up, y'all? Let me see. Got married at 15 and I had a beautiful butterball. Thanks, Tia, for your comment. Like I said, one of my aunts, she just posted right now that she got married at 15 and she had my cousin. And stuff like that. And like I said, I think that it was a very common, in our past generations, our parents' generations and things like that. And just a really quick comment before I close it off. My dad made a very machista comment to me the other day. about how, if, how can I put this? If somebody has if a person has a business, you want to find a partner, all right, that's going to support you and work your business, and basically find you a partner that's going to work your dream. And I was like, whoa. And he was talking about a man and a woman, but in my case, that doesn't work. He was, and I was like, but that's not fair, because like, I understand finding a partner that will, support you and, maybe help you with your business. But for you to say that that person needs to work for your dream, that's kind of like selfish, because every person is an individual and every person has their very own dreams and goals and aspirations. So for you to be like, oh, I can't be with you, or I'm not going to marry you if you don't work for my dream, it's kind of shitty. Sorry, Dad. But anyways, all right. So closing, what's the next step? I think I talked a lot about poverty, about how to break the cycle, how to, not be what our parents were, unless that's what you want to be. That's okay. You know what I mean? But what's the next step? Getting help on how to get to the next step. That's going to be the next step. All right. So having a plan is super huge when you're trying to break cycles, especially generational cycles. All right. So have a plan on residual income. Why? Because nearly 1 in 3 Americans has a side hustle to make ends meet. Man, there's so many people that are working paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money you're making or what kind of a good job you have. Don't be like me. You're giving a business, or you can be like me and give a business some of your very hard earned time, which is very valuable. Give them a lot of your time, build their dreams and things like that, just to get cut loose. Now, I'm not saying quit your job and, go fire your boss right now. I'm not saying that by any means. All right. What I'm saying is start making a plan right now, just in case that happens, All right. So, have a residual income, a plan for residual income, like I did. And I'm going to use me as an example. As I told you earlier, I worked for a company for 7 years. Mind you, I worked my entire life. Well, I don't want to say entire. I started when I was 18. I worked for this company, and I felt like I gave them my soul. Like, we became friends and everything. Then I got cut loose. If it wasn't because I had like a backup plan without even knowing. Now, this is without knowing. Can you imagine what's going to happen now that I actually know and have a plan? All right. So, have a plan for residual income. What does that mean? That means that you're making additional income besides the work or the job that you are currently doing. All right. So if it's you that wants to, or is now thinking and planning about, making additional income for what? Additional income for cushion. You always want to have money on the side, right? In case of what? Emergencies, for savings, for luxury. Sometimes a lot of people are working paycheck to paycheck, paying the bills, paying their debt and things like that. And it leaves them no money to go on vacation. I mean, why are you working so hard and you can't even go on a vacation? All right. So if you need additional money, income, then, this is what you got to do. I'm not going to tell you exactly what you got to do. You actually got to come see me. All right. But like I said, nearly 1 in 3 Americans has a side hustle to make ends meet. All right. And all they got to do is like work extra hours, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home. All right. Believe it or not, we have a very awesome platform now in this generation where you can use social media. You can use so many things to make additional money, additional. Okay. All right. So this is what happens. I actually have a class here at Fuel Spot every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. All right. Now, this is how I want to break the cycle, be the positive influence, and give people and show people what is attainable, what is possible, if you take the opportunity. All right. So every Wednesday here at 7:30 p.m. at Fuel Spot. The address is 8686 Highway 6 North 77095. All right. So I have a class here at 7:30, and I call it the Make Money Mixer. All right. The Make Money Mixer. All right. Where we have a class on planning your financial goals, without taking more time away from your family. Okay, especially if you're a family person. If you're not a family person, then hey, I want you to be able to use your time wisely. Go use it for fun. Go use it for things other than working all the time. All right. So instead of finding a second job, working for somebody else, work for yourself. But if you've never done it before, you have absolutely no clue how to start. All right. And so this is a short class, maybe like an hour. You're getting it from me. I mean, if I can do this, you can do this, right? So 7:30, we're gonna plan your financial goals, without spending so much more of your time at another job. And what platforms are available for you depending on your goal. All right. So a lot of people are like, I don't know what to do. What would a side hustle be for me? I don't know how I would make extra money doing this. You know what I mean? And so this is what we do. I'm going to show you what's possible. How much money do you want to make? Would you want to make? How much work are you willing to put in? If you want to work 3 hours from home a week, that's cool. Then let's do it. All right. But just know that the option and the opportunity is there for you. Break that cycle of paying the bills, going to work, paying your debt, getting in debt, going to work, paying your bills. Get out of that vicious cycle. Just because it was something that we grew up seeing around our culture, around our family, doesn't mean that it's the right way. And there is a way for you to change it. So anyways, I'm out here. I already done too much talking. My throat is dry. I didn't even have a chance to drink my Topo Chico. So I hope you guys got something valuable out of this. If you know somebody that wants to make additional income, send them my way, man. This class is super fun. It's super short. It's none of that, I don't know, boring stuff. So anyways, come through. Come talk to your girl. Let's do this. Break the cycles. No more stereotypes for the Latinos. We're better than that. Bye.